Hello, and welcome back to Unlock Wisdom. Today we're embarking on a journey to lasting inner strength and joy. We will be exploring the 5 daily habits for emotional well-being. This is your path to lasting inner strength and joy. Let's get started. Here we explore practical strategies to enhance your life and cultivate lasting well-being through evidence-based practices and transformative daily habits. Chapter 1. Why emotional well-being matters. Let's dive right into Chapter 1. Your emotional well-being shapes how you think, feel, and connect with the world around you. It influences your resilience, your relationships, and your overall health outcomes. Unfortunately, poor emotional health can lead to anxiety, depression, burnout, and even physical health problems. The emotional well-being crisis today. Today, we're facing a significant challenge. The emotional well-being crisis today has some eye-opening statistics. According to CDC data, 1 in 5 adults experience mental health challenges annually. 78% report increased stress globally, especially post-pandemic. However, there is hope. People who practice emotional well-being habits report 3 times higher life satisfaction. This shows that simple daily habits can transform our emotional health, providing accessible tools for everyone. Emotions control us, or we control them. Are your emotions controlling you, or are you controlling your emotions? Let's find out. What are emotional habits? We need to define what are emotional habits. They are repeated daily actions that shape your emotional state and mental landscape. Think of them like brushing your teeth for mental hygiene. Small, consistent acts of emotional self-care. Small habits equals a big impact over time through neuroplasticity and behavioral reinforcement. Ultimately, they create a foundation for resilience and emotional regulation in challenging times. Chapter 2. Habit number 1. Connect with others. Chapter 2 brings us to the first vital habit, connect with others. Strong relationships boost feelings of belonging and self-worth. Social support reduces stress hormones and improves mood regulation. Quality connections create a buffer against life's challenges and enhance our capacity for joy. The science of connection. Let's look at the science of connection. During positive social interactions, our brains release oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which lowers anxiety and promotes feelings of trust and bonding. That's not it though. Harvard research shows loneliness increases the risk of depression by 59% and is as damaging to physical health as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Lastly, our brains have specialized mirror neurons that activate when we connect with others, helping us develop empathy and emotional regulation. How to build meaningful connections daily. So how do we build meaningful connections daily? Schedule regular connection. Family dinners, weekly friend catch-ups, or video calls with distant loved ones can have a huge impact. You can engage in community, find volunteer work, hobby groups, or neighborhood initiatives that align with your values. You can also use technology mindfully. Choose video calls over text-only communication and set boundaries around social media use. Lastly, remember that quality over quantity is essential. Research shows that having just 3 to 5 close, supportive relationships provides greater emotional benefits than dozens of superficial connections. Connection heals. If you need a reminder, just remember that connection heals. Real story. Sarah's journey from isolation to joy. Here's a great example. Sarah's journey from isolation to joy. I didn't realize how isolated I'd become until my emotional health started deteriorating. Starting those weekly calls changed everything, said Sarah, marketing professional. She battled increasing loneliness during a remote work transition and decided to schedule weekly video calls with old friends and joined a virtual book club to fix it. As a result, her emotional well-being and energy soared, Anxiety decreased by 60%. Chapter 3. Habit number 2. Move your body. On to Chapter 3. Move your body. It's a powerful habit to adopt. Exercise releases endorphins, natural mood boosters. Physical activity significantly reduces anxiety and depression symptoms. Movement creates a mind-body connection that grounds us in the present moment. Plus, regular activity improves sleep quality, enhancing overall emotional regulation. Why movement matters for emotions. Why is movement so important for our emotions? Just 30 minutes of daily movement can improve self-esteem, reduce negative thoughts, and positively alter brain chemistry. Regular exercise reduces anxiety symptoms by up to 20% for regulation of stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline. And people who exercise regularly are 3 times less likely to experience depression than sedentary individuals. Easy ways to get moving every day. So here are some easy ways to get moving every day. Find joy in movement. Walk, dance, stretch, yoga, swimming, cycling. Do activities you genuinely enjoy. Remember to start small and begin with just 5 minutes of movement daily. The emotional benefits begin immediately, even before physical changes appear. Consistency is also key. A daily 10-minute walk provides more emotional benefits than occasional intense workouts. And don't forget that movement in daily life can be beneficial as well. Gardening, housework, taking stairs, walking to errands all count as beneficial movement. Movement fuels mental strength. Real story: Mike's transformation through daily walks. I was skeptical that something as simple as walking could impact my stress levels. 6 weeks later, I was a believer. My walks became my emotional reset button, said Mike, IT professional. The change he made was 20-minute morning walks. Before these walks, he was suffering from chronic stress, irritability, sleep problems. After these walks, for 6 weeks, he saw a calmer mind, better sleep, and improved relationships. Chapter 4. Habit number 3. Mindfulness and meditation. Chapter 4 is about the power of practice mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness reduces anxiety and improves mood regulation. Meditation rewires the brain for greater resilience and emotional calm. Even brief practices create space between stimuli and responses. And regular practice shrinks the amygdala, the fear center, and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, rational thinking. What exactly is mindfulness? It's present moment awareness, paying attention to the present moment without judgment or criticism, and noticing thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise without getting overwhelmed. Mindfulness is also emotional intelligence, which develops the capacity to observe emotions rather than being controlled by them, and creating space between stimulus and response to choose more skillful reactions. It's non-judgmental acceptance by cultivating an attitude of curiosity and compassion toward your experience, and reducing self-criticism and developing greater self-compassion. Simple mindfulness practices to start today. Here are a few simple mindfulness practices to start today. 5-minute breathing by counting breaths. 4-count inhale, hold for 2, 6-count exhale. Use body scan meditation by progressive relaxation from toes to head before sleep. Or mindful activities by fully engage during eating, walking, or showering. Presence is power. Real story: Lisa's battle with anxiety. Consider this case. Lisa's battle with anxiety. My mind was constantly racing, jumping from one worry to the next. Learning to meditate didn't make my problems disappear, but it gave me the space to respond rather than react, said Lisa. Teacher. With consistent morning meditation, she saw a panic attack reduction of 70% after 8 weeks of daily meditation practice. She continued this practice for 3 years and saw sustained benefits. Chapter 5, Habit number 4, Practice Gratitude. Our fourth habit in Chapter 5 is Practice Gratitude. Gratitude shifts focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. It's consistently linked to increased happiness and reduced depression. It creates a positive feedback loop that counteracts negativity bias, and it's one of the simplest yet most powerful emotional well-being practices. The science behind gratitude. The science behind gratitude can be broken down into 3 parts. It creates neurochemical benefits to boost serotonin and dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemicals that enhance mood and motivation, and activates the brain's reward pathway, creating a natural high that reinforces positive thinking. It gives us physical improvements, such as improved sleep quality and duration by reducing worry thoughts before bedtime, and reduces stress hormones like cortisol by up to 23%, according to UC Davis research. And it also gives us neural rewiring. With consistent practice, gratitude actually rewires neural pathways, making positive thinking more automatic and counteracts the brain's natural negativity bias, which evolved to protect us from threats. How to cultivate gratitude daily. Here are a few ways how to cultivate gratitude daily. You can keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 specific things you're grateful for each day, focusing on why they matter to you. Express thanks to others by sending a weekly thank you message to someone who has positively impacted your life. Reflect before sleep by reviewing positive moments from your day right before falling asleep to reinforce positive memory encoding. And practice gratitude walks by taking a walk focused solely on noticing and appreciating the beauty and goodness around you. Don't forget that gratitude during challenges is the most powerful practice. The practice is most powerful during difficult times. Look for small positives amid struggles, which builds emotional resilience. Gratitude grows joy. Real story. Tom's shift from negativity to positivity. Tom's shift from negativity to positivity involved 5-minute daily gratitude journaling and weekly gratitude letters. Before this, he was suffering from chronic complaining and negativity affecting relationships and work. 3 months later, his improved outlook, strengthened marriage, and had better stress management. In the long term, it gave him enhanced emotional resilience during job loss and health challenges. Chapter 6, Habit number 5. Prioritize sleep and self-care. We've arrived at our final habit in Chapter 6. Prioritize sleep and self-care. Sleep restores emotional balance and cognitive function. Self-care replenishes energy and reduces chronic stress. Both practices signal to your brain and body that you're worth caring for. Ultimately, they create a foundation for all other emotional well-being habits. Why sleep is a foundation for emotional health. Emotional processing comes from during REM sleep, when the brain processes emotional experiences and consolidates positive emotional memories. It allows mood regulation. For poor sleep is linked to a 70% increase in irritability, anxiety, and depression symptoms. Stress response helps with consistent sleep, which improves HPA axis regulation, reducing overreactions to minor stressors. Decision-making comes easier with well-rested brains, makes more emotionally intelligent choices, and resist impulsive reactions. Self-care more than pampering. It's vital to remember that self-care is more than pampering. You can setting boundaries by learning to say no and protecting your energy from draining situations. Practice restorative activities to refill your emotional cup. You can also practice digital detox by using regular breaks from screens and information overload to reset attention. Rest to reset. Real story. Emily's recovery through sleep hygiene. Here is a testament from Emily's recovery through sleep hygiene. I was always the person who said, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." Ironically, that approach was killing me slowly. Prioritizing sleep transformed my emotional health. Because of this, she suffered from an erratic sleep schedule, mood swings, anxiety attacks, and burnout. To combat this, she set consistent sleep-wake times, created bedtime routine, learned to say no to overcommitment to get better mood stabilized, energy increased, better business decisions, and improved relationships. Chapter 7. Putting it all together, your daily emotional well-being routine. Now, let's talk about putting it all together, your daily emotional well-being routine. By creating a sustainable routine that integrates all 5 habits throughout your day. The best approach is to use mindfulness and gratitude in the morning, movement and connection in the midday, and self-care and sleep in the evening. Morning rituals to start strong. You can implement this structure through morning rituals to start strong. To do this, begin your day with 5 minutes of mindful breathing before checking devices, and focus on your breath while setting a positive intention for the day. Also, write or mentally note 3 specific things you appreciate, and include 1 thing about yourself or your capabilities. You can also incorporate light physical activity, such as gentle stretching, yoga, or a short walk, and focus on how it feels rather than calorie burning. For the midday check-in, you can schedule meaningful connection. Reach out to a colleague or friend for a genuine conversation, and practice active listening without planning your response. Use the mindful break and take a 5-minute mindfulness pause, deep breaths or short walk, and notice 3 things you can see, hear, and feel to ground yourself. Lastly, you can nourish your body by eating a balanced meal or snack mindfully, away from screens, and stay hydrated throughout the day to support brain function. The idea here is to incorporate micro practices. Even 30-second practices scattered throughout your day can significantly impact your emotional state. Evening wind down. For evening wind down, incorporate a reflection practice. Spend 3 minutes reviewing positive moments from your day, and note 1 thing you handled well and 1 thing to improve tomorrow. Then schedule a digital sunset by limiting screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed to improve sleep quality, and use blue light filters if screens are necessary. Lastly, use a sleep routine, which is best used by using a consistent bedtime that allows for 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and create a relaxing pre-sleep ritual. Reading, gentle stretching, or meditation. Consistency is key. The most important ingredient is to remember that consistency is key. Overcoming common barriers. Here are some tips on overcoming common barriers. If you say, "I don't have time," start with just 2 minutes per habit and build gradually. Integrate practices into existing routines, and remember that small, consistent efforts are greater than occasional perfect days. If you say, "I'm too stressed," begin with the shortest, simplest version of each habit, since these practices reduce stress gradually, creating an upward spiral, and most stressed people benefit most from these habits. If you say, "I'm alone," explore online communities with shared interests. Consider volunteering. Helping others boosts well-being, and practice connection with pets, nature, or even through journaling. Tools and apps to support your journey. There are also many tools and apps to support your journey. There are many meditation apps, such as Headspace, Calm, and Insight Timer. There are also gratitude tools, such as Day One and Journey. And there are movement and sleep tools, such as Fitbit and Sleep Cycle. Just remember, technology should support your practice, not replace human connection or become another source of stress. Chapter 8. The Science of Habit Formation. Let's take a quick look at Chapter 8, The Science of Habit Formation. Repetition and reward builds habits through consistent repetition and positive reinforcement. This creates neural pathways because emotional habits strengthen brain circuits through neuroplasticity. It will building momentum, which helps you start small, celebrate wins, gradually increase duration and complexity. This is a process. Research shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, though this varies from 18 to 254 days depending on the person and habit complexity. Visualizing your emotional well-being growth. You can check on your journey by visualizing your emotional well-being growth. Before, you may have been overwhelmed by emotions, anxious and reactive, disconnected from others, had drained energy and low resilience to stress. But after, you will be emotionally regulated, calm and responsive, deeply connected, energized and present, resilient during challenges, and have consistent joy and gratitude. This shows the transformation is gradual but profound by using small, daily choices that compound into life-changing results. Let that be a reminder that resilience grows daily. Unlock Wisdom's Challenge, 30 Days to Emotional Well-Being. To be successful, you will need to commit to one habit per week. Week 1, connection. Week 2, movement. Week 3, mindfulness, and so on. You will also need to share your progress and join our online community for accountability and support. Then you will need to reflect and adjust through weekly check-ins to evaluate what's working and adapt as needed. Lastly, remember to celebrate small wins and acknowledge your progress, no matter how small it seems. You need to remember that perfection is not the goal, and that success is not practicing perfectly every day, but returning to your habits after inevitable lapses, since consistency trumps perfection. Testimonials from our community. Here are a few testimonials from our community. Expert insights. These are the keys to building a strong mindset. So check out these expert insights. Resources for deeper support. Here are a few resources for deeper support. There are national mental health helplines, online therapy platforms, and community resources. Just remember, these habits support emotional well-being, but aren't a replacement for professional help when needed. Frequently asked questions. You might have a few frequently asked questions. The first is, how long before I see results? Most people notice small improvements within 2 to 4 weeks of consistent practice, and significant changes typically emerge after 8 to 12 weeks as neural pathways strengthen. The second is, what if I miss a day? It's important to be kind to yourself and restart without guilt, since missing occasional days doesn't erase your progress, and the goal is consistency, not perfection. And the last question is, can I combine habits? Yes, once you're comfortable with individual practices. For example, a mindful gratitude walk combines 3 habits in one activity. To see the best progress, it's important to customize your approach to be the one that is right for you. Your emotional well-being action plan. So start your emotional well-being action plan by selecting your top 3 habits to prioritize based on your current needs. Then, set realistic goals. Start small, 2 to 5 minutes per habit daily to build consistency before increasing. Also, use the Track Your Progress and use a simple habit tracker, and note emotional changes in a journal. Most of all, remember to celebrate small wins and acknowledge each step toward better emotional well-being. Your journey starts today. Final thoughts. Emotional well-being is within your reach. Remember these final thoughts. Emotional well-being is within your reach. You have the power to shape your emotional life through intentional daily choices. These 5 habits build lasting resilience and joy by working with your brain's natural capacity for change. And always keep in mind that the journey isn't always linear, but each return to these practices strengthens your emotional foundation. Join Unlock Wisdom's emotional well-being community. There you can subscribe, share your story, and join our community. Together, we unlock the wisdom within. Thank you. Embrace these 5 daily habits and unlock your emotional well-being. As Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.